Hey everybody, I'm APH. Welcome back to the City of Lost Hope and Kingdoms Reborn. Now, in the last episode, I finished my expansion up to the north. You can see a few things have changed as we've started to put in some decorations, as well as we plotted in a few roads. Now, in between episodes, I did get into expanding our stone roads, continuing on with our decoration, and now that food is less of a problem, and tools are not something I need to buy, I started my first major expansion, expanding all of our town sections to where they're almost completely housed. Now, where are we going in this episode, you ask? That's a good question. We need more houses in order to get to the 80 houses for the Industrial Age, which means yet another expansion. Still up to the north, we want to continue over to the river. Now, we just finished the technology, so let's go ahead and go into the upgrade tree. Instead of using money, I'm going to finally pick up influence points. Reason I haven't picked them up so far, without luxuries, we don't produce influence, and every territory we claim takes influence. So I think it's time to start picking up some of these early techs. Now, let's go ahead and speed up time and zoom out to the main map and kind of take a look at where we want to expand. And I'm thinking over to these grapes up to the start of the ocean here. So let's start picking them up with all of the influence that we collected. Do you have a bonus there? Let's zoom in far enough to get it. We'll take a sustainability. Another few provinces into our pocket here. Do we have room for these colonists to immigrate? Yep, I think we'll take them. Still have about 9,000 yet to go, so let's go ahead and continue on our expansion. We'll take the sustainability. I have a spot that we can put these. Let's grab one more. It looks like a few techs have finished while we're at it. We'll take vassalization. We will pass on fort. We'll pass on barracks. Now back into the tech tree. Let's close out this window. Into the tech tree. In order to get to the Industrial Age, we need to get a few things. First, intercity connection, which will lead to colonization. And down the road, it will give us the social science that we're looking for those passion and motivation cards. So that'll be the start. Let's move on to this expansion. We need it to be far enough away from this pocket that it's not interfering, but close enough that people can go build it. Let's check a look at the fertility. This area does have some good pockets in it, and we're going to utilize those. Thinking right about here should be the edge. That way we can get this pocket of fertility, maybe touch on those. Definitely putting that road in the wrong spot. Let me close off fertility, but keep the wood off. And let's get our road based. We'll keep the houses right around the same level. Let's keep that off as we start this section. Now, we'll only need a few actual houses to get started, but that's kind of the way that it moves. We'll need a market. So let's get that down. We're also going to need a school and then a library. And then a theater. We'll put it on this side. I won't fill around all the decorations this episode. I'll probably do it between episodes. Library. Now, something doesn't feel right with that placement. I might have something goofed up. Let me put down the road to see if it's aligned correctly. We are. I'm the one that's off a little. Imagine that. Now we want a theater over here. And this will get our main town section going. How is our coal city? Don't want to expand too far. We did consume way more last year than what we produced, so we're going to have to put coal over here. So let's get that while we're in here. What I realized between episodes is we've been pushing our expansion, but we haven't actually been keeping up with some basics. Let's get some warehouses first. Forgot to hold the shift button there. And now some... No, I don't want to sell food. Now some coal production. And we'll keep with our pattern of having two of them so they get the industrial adjacency. We just finished our tech for intercity connection. Let's get colonization. Now, colonization won't be useful this episode, possibly in the next. We're 19 houses from our destination. It looks like we have some houses that just aren't upgraded. If possible, as we hit the industrial age, I'd like magic mushrooms. One more coal producer. And then we can go ahead and put back on our tree overlay. Now, bread is starting to come in. And with it buffed up, we're producing 269 per session. And how does that play out? We're producing a little over 2,000 bread per every season. So 2,000 bread supports about 20 people. And it only takes 4 people to actually run them. So I think we're going to expand our bread production. So let's drop some houses here. And then we'll put another 3 bakeries and a granary down. So let's get these houses. And then we'll take a look at luxuries to see where we're standing. We have room for the immigrants, so let's pause it, accept them. Fast build this house just to actually get room for them. Let's go ahead and unpause it. Oh, we don't need that. We do have some stones, which is starting to come in now that the quarry's going. We have an amazing amount of bricks. So we can go ahead and upgrade all the houses. Only 5 still needed it. That tells me that we're getting caught up with that. Let's get our road down. Now this is the spot that I said we would just kind of pretend like it didn't happen. And what we'll do is we'll do some creative stuff in here to make it look semi-decent, because as we come up, we'll actually do that. It's going to create kind of this little edge. On to bakeries. We're going to want 3 bakeries plus a granary. Do the granary second. A little bit more for the bakery. We'll keep our space in there. Give them a walkway. Now if I scroll to the top, is it up at the top? It is. We're good there. Let's get our road. We're going to go ahead and let wild cards start piling up. The reason behind that is we're now to a point where we're going to start focusing on sheer expansion with less selling of food. Because our income's finally good, and our food's finally at a spot where we're outproducing, which will just let us push it into the next era. So, more roads. Now, we do have stone. So one by one, I'm going to start looking at sections of road, and I'm going to start upgrading them. But I don't want to upgrade to the point where our laborers are pulled away from their jobs and they're no longer moving around our resources. Let's get a few warehouses in here. And I think we're just going to create a solid wall this time. Normally I'd leave that space like I did with the bakeries, but this road being off a little is going to throw us off. So I think that's a good expansion. This is a good expansion here. Let's look at, not at the whole map. Let's go ahead and scroll back in. We have grapes, which is good. They'll make our wine. We have wheat. We actually have a good deal, which is going to make our bread. We have some potatoes left, which is good. It's going to make our vodka. We are producing vodka, but don't have an overabundance. We've got candles. We've got clothes. What other tier 2 luxuries can we get down? We're not ready for magic mushrooms. Can we get into glass and coffee this episode? Let's see what it would take to get into coffee. So scrolling out, we have a province down here that at least has fertility for coffee. So can we get enough of a coffee brew here to get going? I think we're going to get too far from a house, so let's place down a placeholder house just to bring some population over here. And let's get a couple of farms. Now these farms, I'm going to go ahead and do 8 by 8, and I'm going to do 2 of them. We're going to need a windmill and a granary in order to support them. Let's get a farm up here, and we'll kind of place it right on the edge there. Hopefully this will be enough room for the granary and the windmill. Granary. Ooh, just covering both. Yeah, we'll go ahead and plop that down. Let's see if there's room here for the windmill and see if it covers all of them. Might turn this windmill completely off and just use the fact that it's giving the bonus. But at least it would be there. So we'll quick build this. We're going to go ahead and deselect it so that people don't actually work here. I think that's the best option because it's far from any storage and it's far from people. Let's go ahead and turn back on our tree overlay. We don't have anybody living here, but they're not actually working the farm. It's early spring, so let's get these set up for raw coffee. And let's quick build them so that hopefully this season we get that precious coffee. Maybe we'll brew ourselves a fresh cup this fall. We're going to have to find a spot for our actual coffee production because this area is getting filled out. We expanded some coal production over here in order to keep up, and we expanded our candles down here. On this side over here, I don't want to use too much of it as we're looking to expand our lakeshore with more riverfront property. Paper can only be built on the edge. Sand and clay can only be built on the shores. So at least until we get into the industrial age and we can make proper paper from a plant, I think that we have to keep this shore for what it is. So we move down to the south. I do want to get into harvesting these papayas, which will mean fruit gatherers down here. But I'm not sure that we're going to get into that this episode. So let's check our cards real quick. I've been letting them pile up wild cards, but there might be something useful in there. Start with a bank. The logistics office, we're getting big enough, might be useful, but I'm going to go ahead and pass on it. What I might get is another hauling service. Let's get our wild card. Now, we just finished colonization. Let's pick up coffee roasting, which will lead us into work schedules into machinery. And in the industrial age, we'll get concrete as a result. Our neighbor gave us a gift. Let's get our first hauling service down. We're going to plop it right here and kind of let it fill up our candle makers. Wow, that is a tight fit in there. Speaking of that, this area is starting to become filled. Let's go ahead and get a couple warehouses so we can close off these 2 storage units and get them moved over into the actual warehouses. We're at just shy of 450 people. We'll probably hit that mark shortly. So let's evaluate our laborers. We're in the summer. We have almost 60 laborers, but let's up this to 50. That way we have that constant movement even if a production facility goes back in. Now I saw paper wasn't actually producing. That leads me to believe there might be an issue. Let's get our next technology, work schedule. We might get into producing more glass. 9 houses away. We are flirting with the fact that we're going to get to the industrial age probably in the next 10 minutes. We want coffee. We're not ready to place it down yet as the farms haven't done anything, but we're going to go ahead and pick it up. Let's check our cards. Ooh, we want that removal. Let's hold out so we can drop our bank so we can take it. Looks like for some reason, even though we have the laborers, sand mine, glass mine, well, they just started up. Okay. Our vineyards aren't working at our Taylor. They might be at cap. Taylor's definitely at cap. Our winery might just be out of grapes. So that will pick up in the fall. Got a notification we're under. We are producing a lot of candles now. Let's go ahead and cap candles. We have 1,600. Let's cap it at 2,000 so that soon it will actually stop producing them and it will move into where we can start selling the wax again. Or even better yet, we could actually sell the candles. I think they're worth quite a bit. The wax is worth 10. The candles themselves are worth 20. And it's a good conversion, you know. We start with 26, get 30. With glass, we could probably push that even further. Let's go ahead and upgrade these. It's a little bit better. Let's see what giving them a little bit of a budget. I want to upgrade both of them. So 52. We're in good shape there. Speaking of that, let's look at our beekeeper. Now, I've been pushing. We want to get this over 100. To do that, we need to continue to push our job happiness. That did move it up quite a bit. Let's drop a motivation in there. It's producing 39 per batch. So I think it's going to start keeping up. Let's go ahead and move it into the next era. We're up to 45. I think I want a passion book for this once we get into passion. See how our city up to the north is doing. This area is coming together. Looks like our theater needs a little love still. Looks like it's probably having problems moving resources. We have the steel. We have the bricks. We have stone. Let's go ahead and upgrade our next batch of houses, which upgraded 27, not enough for all of them. We'll go ahead and upgrade the bricks, which is enough for all of them. Now I think we're ready for our first monument. So when work schedule finishes, we're going to go ahead and build our first epic building that's under the upgrade tree. We're going to build a cathedral, which should improve job happiness by 10%. Should move it from 72% to 79%. Might move our bar 1%, but it's going to be well worth it. And it looks like we have enough technology now that is moving quickly. So let's take a look and see where we want to place it. Scroll out just a little. Now, if I was a cathedral in the Middle Age, I would want to place myself either by the water, which we're not close enough to, or at the foot of a mountain. I think this spot right here looks like a spot that we want to go ahead and place it. Let's go ahead and go back into the tech screen. We'll pick up machinery for the 30% bonus to wood gathering. Tunnels are kind of a little bit moot on this difficulty. If we had more mountains, they might be good. Or if we were further north into the hills. We're going to take our cathedral, which unlocks the first world wonder. I don't think any of my neighbors have built one. And we're going to go ahead and place this right at the foothill of this mountain. And once it's done building, probably between episodes, I'll fill in the territory around it with probably some fancy roads. Speaking of fancy roads, let's actually get the look of stone roads around it. I swear by it's mosaic and not actually stone. But this will get a look that we're looking for and kind of box it in. Our stone is okay. We have our quarry going year round now. We can upgrade it with glass. Let's go ahead. We'll keep the stone pouring. Our blacksmiths are ready to upgrade. Let's go ahead and get those going. I think we already upgraded. We have not upgraded these with glass, and we have also not upgraded their budget. Let's go ahead and pop the budget up for all of them. We could only upgrade one into the new era, so we're going to need more glass for that. We're slowly producing it, so maybe in this episode we will go ahead and expand glass production as well. Our money's going up naturally now that we're not buying tools. And we're starting to get resource luxuries of all types. Gained another wild card, that's fine. And in here, we're finally starting to produce sustainability books. Speaking of that, let's drop 2 sustainability books in there, dropping the amount of paper we need down to 36, so we can start building up paper. We do want to produce them quick. Paper. Let's upgrade this so we get more. Do we have an abundance of it? We've got 15. Add the 2 extra work slots. Let's expand our glass production first. Now the thought behind this is we don't have a whole lot, but I'd also like that luxury of glass. So, first the sand mine. Thankfully, it's a lot easier to place than the the paper maker. We'll try to pair it right with that road. Let's get another glass maker down. Now from here we can finally move into... Wanted to make sure they're both glass smelters because the other glass production... We had somebody die of the cold, so we're out of coal. So we have glass smelter. Let's look at that technology. Maybe I haven't actually researched it. We have not. Glassworks would allow us to turn our glassworks into actual glassware. And we're 5 away from the industrial era. We are chasing that. See where we can place down 5 more houses while this area builds up. Looks like this is already starting to fill up. That's good. Not at a point where I want to start just buying the building. It will be a thing. We will get there. Maybe even this episode. So it looks like we don't have enough people to fill that house, but let's get the next 5 houses down. Well, this would count as 1, but I think we want to go a little bit further. Let's get these 5 houses down over here just for the future. It's going to take a little bit of time to not go into the text screen. Let's turn off the tree so I can see where I'm building. Want to get to a point which is actually viable here. I want to get the industrial era. Looks like our first couple bakeries are done. We don't have glass, we don't have brick. We don't have glass and we don't have brick because of something that totally overlooked. We are building the cathedral. Let's get these set to wood fired. At least we'll get the first upgrade going. We're going to go ahead and buff their budget up. Going to need a lot of brick, a lot of paper, and a lot of glass to start these upgrades. Hopefully, maybe we will actually push the money into getting our glass production up quicker. It's 6,000. We have 46. Let's go ahead. This is 19. I don't want to get rid of food yet. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. This will get glass actually moving so that hopefully we can keep up. Probably need a sustainability book in here in order to make the actual batches work. Unless we have a buildup of sand. We do. Okay. So we won't actually do that. We do want to keep this around 1,000 just so we don't fill up all of our storage. And we're going to go ahead and set 1,000 on our production bonus here too. That way we don't get to a point where we have glass everywhere. We're still out of coal. Maybe after machinery we'll go ahead and go back into the upgrade tree and we'll get upgraded heat. I was hoping by spending the upgrades here, which has pushed us up to 360% heat, I was hoping that we would move into a place where we're stable with coal again. That finished. Let's go ahead and back up a little bit. Go ahead and upgrade. So chimney restrictions was giving us an extra 15%. But just leveling this twice would be 15% and we don't have to spend a card. So let's take a look at our town hall and see if we have room to spend that card. If we do, we might switch it over. So we can upgrade to level 4, which gives us another spot. It also gives us the ability for sharing is caring. And the ability to create direct trade. This function is more used for multiplayer games, but you can do it in this mode. And it also works if you have more than one city. Now we have unlocked colonization, so that may be an option this episode, where we finally look to the north where gold is and actually start a colony so that in the industrial age, we can get moving with coal. Our laborers have cleared this area out. Let's go ahead and fast build it. We're going to need more people to fill these as we're now starting to actually move that gap a little bit, as well as we're going to need food to feed them. How are we setting on flour? We've got enough. Let's make sure that our windmills are actually buffed up a little bit. We'll move this up to 2,000. We've got some glass. Let's go ahead and move them into the next age. Looks like we already increased the stone. Did we do it on all of them? Did not. This one doesn't matter too much. Let's go ahead and get this one upgraded. So we need more stone to upgrade the rest of them. I don't want to buy any stone until our money goes up a little bit. Let's get our bank down over here. Won't be huge until we actually start getting all these houses upgraded all the way, but the further it goes, the more it's going to bring in. Bakeries. Got a little off track there. Let's grab our card removal. We finished our tech, so we got to get back to bakery when we finish this. We want to continue to push heat up just a little bit. We'll probably take it to 9. So, keep wanting to click sell food, so we might get an archive just to place those down. Let's put our road down first so that I'm not willy-nilly placing these wherever. Get it aligned the way I want it. There we go. With the stone production we have, we're going to spend some of that stone building these roads so people move around faster. That is going to be a thing. And most of that I'll do between episodes so that you guys aren't just watching me for 20 minutes place down roads. Let's get a road here. Nice thing about international roads is you actually build them right out with cash instead of using laborers to build them. One more bakery, and then we'll get our granary. We're going to need, like everything else, we'll need storage nearby for them. And for this, I think I'm going to place them kind of facing the road. That way the baker can immediately come out and just throw food in there. See what's in the cards? Sharing is caring. Talk about that. We also have a cathedral card. So if we pick up the cathedral card, we can go down to our archive and we can do something with it which is a little bit in the long play. By dropping it in here, not the card removal, the cathedral, it will actually profit off of it up to 12% per year for the value of the card, which is 4,000. So we'll make just about 200 a year off of that card. Not a lot, but it adds up. And we get a message, our people idolize us. And we're at 99%. We're almost there. I wanted to see 100% this episode, and I think we might get there. Speaking of 100%, are we there? We are ready for the industrial age. I'm excited. We can now get magic mushrooms. We can get chocolatiers. We can get cattle. After heating tech, we're going to go ahead and bypass that next heating tech because as we move into the next era, we can upgrade our coal even further with concrete. Still lacking on the glass a little bit. That's okay. Let's go check on our cathedral and see if it's actually done. Looks like it is also missing glass. We're starting to produce 400 a year, so we're getting there. We're consuming some. And we don't have an actual glass work, so I'm not sure what we're consuming it on other than what we spend it. But if it counts us spending it, I'm okay with that. Let's check our cards. We could get a trade company and expand our trade a little. We could move into mushroom farming, which now that we're hitting the industrial age, might be a viable option. Let's start picking them up. We'll get our next card removal, our next wild cards. And on to the Industrial Revolution. Wow, that's going to take a long time. For the first time, our tech is at a point where it's actually going to take 25 minutes. Granted, we are on 3 times speed, so it's probably going to take about 10 minutes. So that will finish between episodes. So just know that that is a thing. I want to see this cathedral finish. See what we can do to the glass down there. We've got the bricks. Let's go ahead and do the the smelting guild first, because that will be a 20% bonus. Pretty much used up all of our bricks. We're losing people to the cold, so that needs to happen. Let's see how we did with coffee. We produced 340. We actually produced 2 seasons in a row. We just got on other things, so we didn't actually build what we were looking to build. Let's go ahead and plop this down adjacent to the coal. See if we can upgrade some more of these. Not enough to upgrade all of them, that's fine. Let's get one more coffee. We'll try to place it kind of in here. Maybe we'll place it right next to it. What did I do here? Should be able to, right there, yeah. Just not seeing my road. I'm swearing by I need to start taking off the overlay when I build. I just keep forgetting. Let's go ahead and upgrade these to stone roads. Get our people moving around a little bit faster. So as we're just on the cusp of finishing our cathedral and moving into the industrial age, I think this is a good time to go ahead and end this episode. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining. Be on the lookout for the next episode where we move into the industrial age and possibly get another world wonder down. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode.